Okay, good morning everyone. Assalamualaikum. How are you guys today?
Morning,
Hello,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So how's everyone? Everyone's good? Semua masih
Yes, ma'am.
okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Can I just make a survey ke ataupun get the number of students yang tak ada kat dalam UPNM because I am applying to get to get permission to use the lab for forensic reasons lah, and I'm planning to call in a vendor to teach you how to use a few of our new softwares, which is one of it is Magnet Axiom, which I think is super awesome sebab dia boleh do forensics on not only computer and mobile phones and also cloud, but they can also do collect data from IoT sensors. So macam menarik lah. I'm hoping that you guys could get a chance to actually see that. All right. Let me know by the end of the class ataupun just PM me if you're not available. I know Irshad kot Irshad ke yang tak ada kat dalam? Is it Irshad ke? Irshad tak ada kan?
Tak ada, ma'am.
Where are you right now? Currently? Where are you stationed?
Subang Jaya, ma'am.
Aish, tak benar. Nak datang pun boleh.
Me too, ma'am.
You're in Sungai Besi, right?
Yeah, how you know?
Siapa dah cakap hari tu, I pun tak ingat. Isla is in Sungai Besi. Irsyad is in Subang. Who else? Everybody else is in UPNM?
Farina at Sabah.
Jauhnya. Farina je lah. Maybe can't make it. Hopefully that you guys can share with her. Sebab it's macam sayang lah. We have the facilities, we have the resources, and you guys most of you guys are physically there, so macam sayang kalau tak guna, and you guys are specialized in forensics, so nanti bila you nak korang nak buat LI ataupun nak cari kerja nanti, so at least you know how to use some softwares and how they work, you know, some tools to actually get data. All right, okay, let's just start the class for today. I'm gonna go through chapter 5 punya slides, and this is still not in accordance to what is in your e-learning. I'll send you chapter 5. Did I send you guys chapter 5? Not yet. Let me do it now. Shoot that. Digital forensics. Saya rasa saya put everything in MS Teams, but let me just make sure, because I'm teaching 2 classes to this semester, and one of it is simple lah, database, but then I'm confusing between you guys a lot. What is this? Forensics. Macam ni lah, I'll give you the whole lot. So you can actually just read it on your own later on if you're interested. But just note that some slides, because this is a book from US, the authors are in US, and because digital forensics are mainly concerned, bukan lah mainly, but we are really concerned about the legislation ataupun the legal impacts of things, because we want to prosecute. That's our macam our main thing is that we want to help prosecutors to prosecute these ni lah suspects dan sebagainya. And so we are involved with legal matters for every cases. And so bear in mind, this is US law, so this is not Malaysian law. That's why I'm asking you to do the assignment. Oh, it's due today, right? Have you guys done it? Have you guys finished?
I thought it's due on Sunday for April.
Oh, is it? Or is it Sunday? Okay, Sunday. You still have 2 days then. So you guys can manage to do that? Hoping so. All right. Okay, let's just start today. So I've sent everything in. You can just refer to any slides that you want. I think it's a very straightforward punya slide, and it actually can accommodate beginners in digital forensics. I think so. And you have to also read the slides in your e-learning. Okay, it's just slides. It's not that hard. If you want to have a hard copy of the not hard copy lah. If you want to have a copy of the book, you can actually just go to pdfdrive.net, and there's a lot of ebooks there. You can actually just refer to it. You can use it for academic purposes. Don't go and do anything else about it. Tapi untuk academic purposes, it's there for you to actually learn. All right, so we're in digital evidence, like we mentioned in last class. Kita yang penting kita nak pastikan our evidence, the evidence that we actually retrieve from the crime scene, is admissible in court. So there's no use of you being able to actually get ataupun acquire the evidence, assess and then acquire the evidence, and then you analyze it using multiple tools, state-of-the-art tools. So using all these latest softwares in your new lab, blah, 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 blah. But then in the end, you forgot to fill in your chain of custody form, and then you won't be able to bring it to the court. So what is a chain of custody form? Can anybody fill me in? If everybody remembers. If anybody remembers. What is a chain of custody form? I malas nak call out name ni in the morning ni. Cepat. Forensic. 20. Tak ada. Okey lah, tu namanya maksudnya nak suruh saya panggil nama. 2, 4. Alright, can I have Rashdan? Oh, Rashdan. Where's chain of custody? You there, Rashdan? Rashdan. Rashdan tak ada. Let me see. Oh, nama dia tak ada. Okay, fine. Alif Aisyah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep. Do you remember what chain of custody is?
Chain of custody.
You need terms yang memang akan diguna.
Legal term referring to the order and manner in finding evidence, man.
Itu dia punya explanation. What you understand from it? What do you understand from it?
I understand maksudnya kita ada banyak proses untuk dapatkan evidence. Kena ikut law lagi.
Yelah tu. Okay. Siapa boleh tolong Aisyah? Call out a name. Bukan. Call out a number Aisyah. Alif. 1 to 17.
Number 10.
10. Islah. What is
chain
the
of
chain of
custody? Basically, just like what Aisha said, it's in an order of collecting evidence, and there are 4 steps. Is it?
Is it?
You have to collect your data, and then you have to examine it.
No.
You have to analyze it.
That is the process of conducting a digital punya investigation. This is from the first week punya slides. What is chain of custody? Thank you, Iza. Iza, pick a number, Iza. 1 to 17. I'm looking for the right answer, like on the spot punya answer.
15.
15. Farina. You there, Farina? Siapa yang tak ada tadi Apa tak abang dia kahwin? Oh, Nazatul. Farina should be here. Tak ada. Another number, Islah.
Okay, 20.
20, mana ada 20 sampai 17 je.
Okay, 5.
5. Tirmizi. Tirmizi, you
Yes,
there?
ma'am.
Yep.
Yes,
What is
ma'am.
chain of custody?
Dia macam kronologi paper untuk buat siasatan, ma'am.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Tirmizi. So it follows the evidence.
Ma'am.
Chain of custody is for each evidence that you retrieve from the crime scene. It follows the evidence daripada crime scene sampai you masukkan kat dalam vault ataupun you masuk kat dalam storage lah, secure storage dekat your site, and you use it ke, you duplicate it, you image it dan sebagainya, and then you return it back, you bawa pergi court, and then you return it back to the owner, sampai itulah your chain of custody comes along with it. So if you kalau tiba-tiba tak ada buat chain of custody ni, and it applies to every single nation that I've dan main ni, semua orang pakai chain of custody, mesti ada chain of custody. So in the case of the example that we watched on Tuesday, kan? So chain of custody will apply to all the apa kita panggil evidence that we retrieve from the site. So there were cameras, maybe if they retrieved that they saw that there was desktop, if they wanted to do more information ataupun dig more information on that, they can actually go in and get the hard disk ataupun bring the desktop back to the office untuk buat imaging dan analysis dan sebagainya. So a chain of custody will be there for each and every single one of evidence. So if you have 10 evidence, ataupun you retrieve 5 komputer, 5 hard disk, 5 CCTV dan sebagainya, semua-semua tu setiap satu tu kena ada chain of custody. Just one of the chain of custody tak ada, nanti it's not going to be admissible in court. Especially kalau lawyers dapat hidu, oh ada satu benda je yang you tak buat, dia akan cakap macam tu. So you have to follow a strict procedure. That's why MC dia ada ISO punya certified, dia punya lab. So they are following each step that is actually predefined ataupun predetermined in conducting forensic investigation. So we'll get your seniors to come and share with you what are the things that they have done and what is digital forensics later on, inshallah. Okay. So thank you, Termizi. So what happens if the case macam contoh kes hari tu kan, it was a murder, kan? So where do we trial it? What kind of case is it considered as? Termizi, pick a number 1 to 17. Oh, Termizi. Termizi dah tak ada dah. Dia jawab soalan dah tak ada dah. Pavi Tren?
11, ma'am.
11. Oh, Saiful. Okay, Saiful.
11, ma'am.
Yeah, Saiful.
Ada, ma'am. Dengar tak?
Dengar dah. Saiful?
Hai.
You there, Saiful? Everybody needs to switch on their videos lah lepas ni. Orang tahu korang ni ada kat mana sebenarnya? Ada online ke? Tak ada ke? On lepas tu tidur balik ke? Okay, tak apa. Saiful tak bang ni. Pavi Tren, you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Pavi, what kind of case is that?
Ma'am, what was the question just now?
Ini kes yang hari tu. Kan? The short video that we watched, the Criminal Minds punya video that we watched on Monday, and then I said that we retrieve multiple evidence, kan? So what will the case be categorized as? Last week kita belajar pasal ada banyak kategori of cases. So what kind of case will this be categorized as?
It will be homicide, ma'am. Killing.
Okay, homicide. Okay. watching too much detective movies. Okay, homicide betul. Tapi it's considered as apa? Dia punya case dia. Dia punya nature of the case. Dia ada 3 je. Out of 3. It's either it's internal ataupun civil ataupun can't remember.
Cyber man. Cyber man.
Bukan. It's a criminal case. Sebab apa? Sebabnya ada murder, ada homicide. Okay? So it's a criminal case. Kalau criminal case ni, what do we have to do? What do we have to get in order to go and do the investigation? Saiful.
Yes, ma'am.
What do we have to get in order to go straight away with the start the investigation? Kalau in terms of criminal cases, what do we have to get sebelum you boleh masuk dan pergi retrieve the evidence, masuk crime scene?
Kita punya apa tu orang panggil?
Apa tu orang panggil
Bukan warrant ya, ma'am?
Yes, thank you. So a warrant. Sebab apa, in criminal cases you need warrants. So if thank you. So kalau tiba-tiba you tengah buat, you dah ambil pergi dekat rumah Minah tu, you dah dapat all this evidence dan semualah. You dalam cerita CSI lah ni. You balik-balik you tengok warrant you hanya cover untuk yang relating to the case lah. Sekali bila you ambil komputer this bukanlah dia punya dekat tempat dekat crime scene tu, you bawa balik, you analyse, sekali you nampak ada pula things related to terrorism contohnya. Tengok dia ni part of terrorism team, terrorist punya movement dan sebagainya, because based on dia punya ni. Ya sayang, mami tengah kelas, sabar kejap. Part of a terrorist movement because of the size yang dia buat, dia ikut, dan dia punya dia punya logs ataupun dia punya chats, dia punya perjalanan, dia pernah pergi overseas, bla 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 bla. So then it goes out of the warrant. So what do we have to do? Saiful, call a number. Pick a number 1 to 17.
Apa, ma'am?
Number 4. Azizi, Zach. You there, Zach?
Yes ma'am.
Yep. So what do we have to do? Kalau tiba-tiba you tengok, you dah balik, analyse, you punya data semua kan. Lepas tu you tengok, kenapa dia dia punya victim ni, dia dah kena bunuh lah kan. Tapi kenapa dia ada macam dia punya ni ada something fishy in terms of dia punya movement in the internet, dia punya footprints on the internet. Kita boleh cerita kenapa dia banyak kali pergi dekat website yang Al-Qaeda ni contohlah kan, and then dia ada buat purchase of a few things that can actually be used to develop a bomb ke apa ke kan. Dia tengok video YouTube how to develop a bomb kan, all this punya viewing punya semua tu ada kaitan dengan macam adalah hint of cyber terrorist. So what do you do as an investigator? Zach.
Check the log
Apa? Tak dengar.
Log.
Okay. You dah jumpa dah evidence dia. You nampak macam ada evidence ni. So what do you do? Do you proceed on with your investigation ataupun you just bata balik and focus on the original punya case, which is the murder of the suspect? Or what do you do as an investigator?
Wow. It's an option right. Okay, I would choose
What do you
proceed
think?
with but the evidence is solid, man, and strong evidence that I got.
Yes. You retrieved it from the evidence that you were actually analysing. You came across the evidence. Nampaklah sikit-sikit. Tapi you tak buat investigation lagi. So what do you do? Do you proceed with the investigation? The new investigation, new case? Ataupun you buat balik yang lama? Or what do you do? You just leave the evidence sebab tak ada kaitan dengan kes saya tak nak tengok. So what do you do? What do you think?
Oh, kalau ada kena mengenai dengan kes saya ni lah teruskan investigation and get the solid ni evidence lagi.
Tapi dia tak ada kena mengena. Dia something different.
Oh, maknanya itu kes orang lain lah.
Ha.
Kalau macam tu tak ada kena mengena dengan saya, itu ada kena mengena dengan investigator lain, dia yang kena buat. So saya tak ambil part lah macam tu.
Kau tak ambil part, lepas tu macam mana orang lain nak tahu awak seorang yang tengok data tu? So what do you have to do? Okay, so you have to go back and look at your warrant. Okay, sebab ini macam saya cakap banyak kali, digital forensics ni semuanya ada kaitan dengan legislation. So if your warrant only covers you investigating things related to the murder, okay, so you get another warrant to extend the search. Ataupun you nak macam Zack cakap lah, nak bagi kat orang lain pun boleh. Tapi at the same time, you yang kena initiate lah the warrant. Sebab kalau you tak initiate, mana orang lain tahu apa yang you dah jumpa dan sebagainya. So if you find all of that, don't put it away. Tapi don't straight away and jump into the investigation without a warrant. Sebab that will also be one of the reasons why a case will be dismissed in court. Okay, so we're just playing around with scenarios, and that's what you're gonna have to do by the end of this course anyways. I'll give you like a scenario. So what do you have to do? What are the steps you need to take as a digital forensic investigator? What kind of laws do you need to be equipped with? Apa benda yang kena buat prepare before you go and do investigations, during and after. So that is what we're gonna do throughout the semester. Okay, thank you. Okay, so you have to go and get another warrant. But what about for civil cases? So civil cases ni lain. Ni just recap apa yang kita belajar hari last week. So civil cases is different. Civil cases is usually you are called in to do the investigations. Sama ada it will be like a normal dispute. Some of civil punya cases you still need a warrant. But most of it you don't really need warrants for civil. The other type of investigation is internal. So internal ni lagi lah, you get permission from the organisation to actually conduct. So you always get you get cooperation in terms of getting information and doing the investigation. So you don't really need a warrant for internal investigations. Okay. So going back to this, so we need to make sure that our evidence are admissible in court. So you need to make sure all this data ataupun all these attachments are together with the evidence dan sebagainya. So how do we determine that these this evidence is admissible in court? So the first is the evidence relevant? Ada kaitan ke tak? You were called in to actually search NDS lab dekat UPNM contohnya. So our new lab, we have multiple softwares. We have a lot of softwares, blah blah blah. Kita ada banyak tower racks for network dan sebagainya. We have a lot of servers, routers, switches kat situ banyak lah contohnya. Tapi you were called in to actually just investigate hard disk kat situ contohnya. Just one particular PC and what it was done in LAN, in the local area network. So do you really have to go and get all the servers, all the routers, all the punya information daripada routers, daripada switch dan daripada segala-gala tu lah, dan all the other computers. So it's whether it's relevant or not. So you have to make sure that it is in accordance to what you were called in to do. Okay. It has to be related to the cause. It must be probative. It will provide some sort of threat that leads to the truth of the matter. So dia adalah footprints macam saya cakap tadi. Contoh macam kalau cyber terrorist punya cases, you'll actually look into like logs, apa dia punya websites, dia punya viewing, dia punya chat rooms, dia punya social media. So we want to see whether they are connecting to all this cyber terrorist punya groups, are they watching any macam motivational in terms of macam for a certain organisation, white supremacist kan, yang dia rasa macam orang putih tu yang paling bagus so mungkin dia ada join mana-mana group yang white supremacist. So if you have the actual evidence ataupun you have the case punya objektif, kita nak tengok sama ada dia ni white supremacist dan dia melakukan this crime contohnya. So you have to check all the possible things and you have to bring it to the court in terms of whether it's relevant atau tak. Okay. Next, is it credible? It cannot be an opinion. You tak boleh, you akan kena conduct interviews. You have to, when you go on site, there'll be maybe sometime if you're lucky, the suspect will be there. So kalau ada suspect, maksudnya dia mungkinlah dia rasa macam tak bersalah kan. You pergi, you kena interview suspects, then you get the password siap-siap untuk social media. Kenapa? Kita nak cut the chase. Kita tak payah nak sibuk nak encrypt lah pula, nak decrypt lah, bla 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 bla. So it will take a long time. If the suspect is there, you can use your warrant and get the password from him straight away. So beside from the suspect, there'll be some saksi-saksi yang ada dekat the crime scene. Dia punya colleagues ke, dia punya friends, dia families. So you need to interview things. So sometimes when you interview people, expert witness lah, all the witnesses, sometimes you get macam cerita lah kan. Dia ni memang teruk lah kan. Padahal itu bukan. So that is an opinion. So whether that could be brought to court, it cannot be an opinion. So it has to be supplemented by an evidence. So you kena tengok balik evidence dia. Kalau dia ni cakap betul lah, dia ni selalu pergi overseas. Dan kalau pergi overseas pun untuk lama-lama, dan bila dia balik, dia selalu cerita pasal dia punya movement, dia suruh orang masuk movement dia kan. So that's an opinion. So you need to supplicate that by actually go back to the evidence and pastikan betul tak dia pergi buat ni. It's just that when you conduct the witness ataupun interview dengan witness is that, so that you actually have a lead ataupun you narrow down the search. Kalau tak besar you punya search, you don't know where to search or what to search for. Okay. Credibility, was the evidence tampered with? So that comes the chain of custody. Ada tak orang lain selain daripada you? So kalau dalam court, kebanyakannya memang soalan ni je lah. Cakap how do you make ensure that you have done all that you have done, you have investigated thoroughly and nobody intercepted your investigation. So you can say that, okay, so this is my chain of custody form. So the evidence I retrieved from site, blah, blah, blah. So it went back to a secure storage location in my premises and nobody else can actually access it, blah, blah, blah. So that's a rentetan lah, dia punya chronology where the evidence were going from A to B. So you can actually prove that the evidence wasn't tampered with. Were proper procedures followed? Did you do the analysis this way? Did you use certain softwares? Did you use the right blocker, which we will look into right blockers next week ataupun the following week. Alright. Is it competent? Information that is unfairly prejudicial cannot be used even if it's irrelevant. Cannot be admitted if prohibited by statutory restraint. Kalau dia macam, dia still ada macam, it goes against the legal ataupun laws. Caranya lah, macam contoh lah kan, you dapat evidence melalui cara yang tak betul. You disguise yourself and then you bukan, you part of the police tapi you jadi spy contohlah kan, jadi spy tapi you dapat dengan cara illegal data tu. So adakah dia competent ataupun dia boleh tak bawa masuk dalam court? People can plead, dekat Malaysia ni tak ada lah, tapi kalau kat US dia ada the Fourth Amendment. Dia tak payah cakap apa-apa, dia tak payah contribute apa-apa, dia boleh plead, dia tak nak silence, dia tak nak bekerjasama. Dia boleh, dia ada macam right dia lah kalau kat US. So kalau you buat tanpa right dia ataupun tanpa permission dia untuk buat, you punya evidence kira tak competent lah. It cannot be hearsay. Maksudnya tak boleh sebab orang cakap, orang ni cakap. Contohnya, if sometimes we have multiple teams working on a single evidence. Contoh macam MH370 punya black box kan. So dia ada banyak team. Orang ni buat ni, orang ni try, orang ni try buat kan. So semua ni kita dah buat imaging So tapi bila you buat you tak jumpa apa-apa. Tapi you dengar team lagi satu dapat jumpa. So you tak boleh nak bawa team lagi satu tu punya ni, it has to be on what you have done on the ni, it cannot be hearsay. Tak boleh sebab orang ni cakap tu, witness ni cakap ni, tak boleh lah. Alright. So this leads to this. Was the evidence obtained legally? So kalau if not obtained if it was obtained in violation of a person's constitutional rights, then it will not be admissible in court. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so there's this plain view doctrine where you usually don't have to search for it. So selalunya dia ada in plain sight lah. Selalu macam ni ialah orang yang novice yang bukannya intentional untuk buat cybercrime ni. Contohnya dekat dia punya password, dekat dia punya desktop, dalam folder dia tulis how to create a bomb. Dia pun create lah satu folder kat dalam tu bombs contohnya. Bila you buka you nampak lah dia punya ingredients to create a bomb, where to create, how to create, siapa yang akan supply. Sekejap give me 5 minutes. There's a water break kejap. Sorry. Okay, going back to that. So it's in plain sight. So tak ada macam ni. So there's a few ways to actually approach plain sight ni. Memang nampak macam senang. Mudahnya kita nak selesaikan kes ni. Benda ni dah ada kat situ. Tapi sebenarnya ada three approaches to actually define plain view. So the first one is inadvertence approach. So first you have to ask yourself as an investigator, did the investigation ataupun investigators actually came across the evidence by accident or was it because of a systematic punya search? Ada tak specific tools yang you guna untuk dapatkan tu? If you have done like a specific tools kan, mungkin you kata nanti kita akan tengok multiple tools during the course. You kata bila saya guna Encase ni tak ada, tapi bila saya tengok ni ada kat situ. Dia delete tapi dia masih ada kat desktop contohnya. So you have to note that down in the report. So that is inadvertence. Maksudnya dia macam secara tak sengaja ataupun secara sengaja tapi menggunakan sistem ataupun tools. There's also prophylactic punya test, meaning that benda yang macam unauthorized kan, macam courts are decided on how these rules apply. So the 9-circuit denied plain. So ini US punya ni lah, stating that a separate warrant must be obtained for each set of files. So contohnya benda ni macam kata tak ada kaitan dalam warrant ni, dia tak cover dalam warrant ni, tapi sebenarnya berdasarkan aku punya ni lah expertise ke ataupun berdasarkan aku punya firasat aku lah kononnya kan. So the evidence will be over there. Dan betul-betul dia ada kat situ. So it differs. Whether it's covered in your warrant atau tak. You need to get warrant. Kalau you tak ada warrant, walaupun dah ada kat situ, so how do you do it? So all of this nanti kita akan dapatkan information throughout the semester, and hopefully that we can actually get someone you can actually participate in, because there's this one talk which I'm part of as well, yang kita panggil CSM, kita panggil MCMC, kita panggil police juga to actually cover on the legal implications of things. Alright, and you also have to approach one of these things that you have to look into. Kalau you nampak yang macam tu lah, yang straightforward punya evidence, you have to view the computer as a container. What does that mean? It means that macam kadang-kadang kan dia macam even though that computer belongs to that person. Excuse me sayang, mami tengah kelas. Okay, so kalau the evidence you see that the information is there, but you have to think about it. Macam betul ke evidence ni macam senang sangat untuk dapat kan? So if you're working on several cases, you'll know that evidence is not that easy to obtain, especially in macam high end punya cases. So macam mana dia boleh dapat? So kadang-kadang mungkin orang menggunakan komputer tu dan macam cuba nak frame orang yang menggunakan PC tu. And so that is computers and as containers, meaning that somebody else might plant something there or use as a zombie computer. Dia yang guna, dia hack into the account ataupun dia hack into the same computer to actually go and hack other people ke, buat all the other things. So you have to always have that in mind. In terms of these three approaches, kalau you nampak evidence yang senang sangat untuk dapat. Alright, the concept search doctrine. So anytime the executor of a search has been given permission to search, the evidence found is legal. So actual authority ni you dapat warrant lah selalunya. Implied authority ni maksudnya you dapat permission. Contohnya daripada organisation, daripada boss. So macam UPNM, dia bagi laptops dekat lecturers contohnya dan staff, contohlah untuk digunakan untuk buat kerja bla 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 bla, tapi kita found out ada satu lecturer ni dia macam dia buat hanky-panky stuff contohnya. So UPNM actually has the right to call police to come in and check without permission from the employee. Kenapa? Sebab bila employee masuk, bila dia nak dapat that resources, dia dah kena sign an agreement saying that everything done on the PC, on the shared PC, on the rented PC ni is being watched. The main siapa yang sebenarnya hold the data, siapa punya data tu sebenarnya. So data actually belongs to UPNM. We are just using it just for work, bla 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 contohnya. So that's implied authority. UPNM ada authority untuk bagi investigators buat kerja. Okay, alright. But then you have to also remember that consent may be revoked at any time. Contohnya macam if you have a warrant, tiba-tiba you pergi, you tengok tak ada benda. And then you jumpa benda lain. So the consent ataupun the warrant is there, dah cukup, tak boleh dah buat apa-apa. And then you have to search for another warrant. So kalau you tengok cerita-cerita investigations kan, selalu macam tu. Kalau tak ada warrant, tak boleh buat apa-apa. Ataupun jumpa something and then you tak dapat warrant, tak boleh juga nak proceed. But you have to raise the flag and say that okay, we need a warrant for this because it's blah 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 dan sebagainya. Okay. Next, okay, so what is the scope of search ataupun apa yang perlu ada kat dalam warrant? Okay, so the warrant must define the scope of search. If you will be or if you have the passion ataupun satu hari nanti if you're lucky enough to actually join investigation punya teams, you will have to do kebanyakannya lah macam kalau MC ataupun cyber security, they will go on site to do investigations with the police. So maksudnya you pergi sekali dengan polis dah dapat warrant, you pergi dan ikut polis sebagai macam shadow polis lah. So that will be easier because you don't really have to look into the warrants. You tahu ada warrant, you ambil the copy of warrant to be put inside your report, then that's done. Maksudnya bukan you yang kena pergi minta warrant. But there are actually macam digital forensic punya organizations yang buat standalone punya investigation. So you can actually go there macam private detectives, private organizations yang buat ni. So they have to remember that. Ataupun you, if you are part of that as well, you have to remember about warrants. You have to get warrants. Sebab kalau you obtain it illegally, you pecah masuk rumah orang tu untuk dapatkan data, lepas tu cakap, oh orang ni memang bersalah sebab daripada data ni kita dah analyse bla 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 bla. So the first thing they'll ask in court, how did you get the data? Did you have a warrant for the data? Did you get permission to access the evidence? Kalau tak dapat, tak adalah. Okay, alright. So the warrant must be specific to what it's being sought. It must be very particular. I want investigators to check the network logs ataupun social media accounts of this individuals. So what social media accounts which covers Facebook, blah blah blah, Instagram, you dah set out siap-siap. Okay, sebab social media banyak kan, you mesti kena particular juga. Warren must define where the search can take place. What's the physical location yang you nak pergi, rumah menteri ni untuk buat investigation, ataupun you nak pergi dekat spesifik tempat perjudian. So dia mesti ada physical location. It also has to have time berapa lama you kena pergi, berapa lama you boleh berada dekat lokasi tu. And then there must be a specific set of parameters for this search. Contohnya you kata untuk semua desktops and mobiles, contohnya yang dijumpa on site, ataupun computer peripheral. So what happens if you jumpa something else that's macam you nampak ada bloody shit lah dekat sini kan, polis tak nampak ni, aku pun nak ambil lah. Tak ada kaitan dengan kau, jangan ambil. Sebab apa? Sebab it's not digital, one. The other thing is it's not defined in your parameters of a search. Okay, because you are a digital investigator, you're not police. You're not the police to actually do that. Okay, so constitution ni tak payah tengok sangat. Nanti kita akan tengok in terms of cyber law in Malaysia, and hopefully that you've already done your reading about your posters as well. What are the constitution in Malaysia that applies? Ada tak akta yang memang untuk digital forensics, dan ada tak akta yang memang betul-betul untuk setiap satu criminal cases yang korang tengok, especially for your critical infrastructures in terms of gas kan, water dan sebagainya. Macam cyberbully, kita tak ada an exact act untuk cyberbully contohnya. Tapi kita leverage on existing constitution. Contohnya your CMA, your Computer Misuse Act, your Violation Act. So all of that actually macam it doesn't have to be directly apply ataupun betul-betul sebiji-biji akta tu memang untuk cyberbully, tak ada. Tapi kita ada akta yang boleh constitute ataupun boleh dimasukkan kat dalam, ataupun boleh kita charge untuk cyberbully. Alright. Vigilantism. So vigilantism ni itulah you tahu kan, vigilantism ni dia biasanya while actions of a vigilante may be illegal or unethical, but sometimes it's not unconstitutional. So contoh vigilante ni apa? Do you guys know what vigilante is? Am I talking alone? Are you guys there?
Yeah, we do.
Hero man.
Okay, what is that? Macam hero lah. Macam apa? Peter Pan. Peter Pan ke? Bukan, Robin Hood. Sorry, Peter Pan.
Robin Hood. Yeah.
Robin Hood. So what do they do? They act for moral, for macam dia nak menegakkan kebenaran tapi the illegal way. Betul tak? So that's vigilante. Tapi memang unethical, betul, and betul is illegal. Kalau kena tangkap memang akan sabitlah kesalahan. Tapi it's not unconstitutional. Maksudnya kadang-kadang yang recruit dewan ni ialah government untuk membuatkan kerja. So contohlah, saya bagi contoh, kalau nations ni dia bergaduh-gaduh in terms of cyber law. Kita tak nampak law, physical law. You tak nampak bombs going around. But in cyber world, countries are actually facing a lot of cyber punya attacks on a daily basis. So it comes from different countries. Malaysia pun dapat. Nanti you can actually ask orang-orang dari MCMC ni lah kan. Yes?
Man, what's the benefit of a cyber attack?
What's the benefit?
Kalau benefit of a cyber attack kalau on Malaysian government or anything, what they expect, what kind of data they expect?
They can cripple the nation. Dia boleh tahu all this sensitive information in terms of macam kita punya military punya purchase, kita punya military punya plans contohnya, ataupun where our power plants. Mungkin dia tak tahu physically where our power plants are, tapi kalau dia dah boleh masuk kat dalam sistem power plants dan dia boleh disable our power plants, what will happen? Semuanya daripada dulu sampai sekarang, bila countries bergaduh sebenarnya adalah penjajahan lah. Dia nak take over our country. So it is easier to do it online. And that's why Russia, China, kalau you selalu tengok lah, you have to always be interested in computer punya news. So just go on Computer Week ataupun whatever apa-apalah dekat Google tu, you can always learn that every single day Russian, China, US punya cyber warriors, hackers, ataupun kita panggil state, can't remember, state hired hackers ke? Apa saya tak ingat. Sekejap State, apa kita panggil? Astagfirullahaladzim. Panggil apa What's the term that we use? Give me. Allah tak ingat. Tapi kira macam it's hired by the government. Government yang, tapi dia takkan cakap lah kita ni bukan, ini the act of organizations, tapi macam mana Russia nak masuk kat dalam sistem China. So memang ada state players yang hackers yang recruit, kira dia act macam vigilante lah kan, tapi tak didedahkan secara macam formal, sebabnya nanti dia akan cause physical war pula. Cakap sebab China cuba masuk kat dalam Russia, so Russia kata sekarang kita nak hantar bom. Lepas tu China boleh kata tapi bukan kita kan, it's not the government punya ni, it's organisation ataupun individual act which we will go and find and prosecute, contohnya lah kan. So they can always say that, so they can hide behind that. So it's happening, it's reality, it's not just in movies. Sebab that's people find that it's easier to compromise the nation by using cyber rather than ni. One of the most macam looked after lah, ataupun orang selalu refer to that is Stuxnet. Do you guys remember Stuxnet? Pernah dengar tak pasal Stuxnet?
Tak.
Tak pernah. Okay. Stuxnet ni is a computer worm. So a computer worm that was actually like a malware lah juga sebenarnya. It was sent to Iran punya nuclear systems, nuclear facility. So nuclear, you bayangkan countries yang ada nuclear, ataupun macam you tengok dalam movie yang ada bom yang pakai sistem dan sebagainya. So what happens if it was intercepted and other people can actually go and into the system and ni kan, macam you tengok dalam movie, it's actually some sort that has some sort of truth behind it as well. So macam Stuxnet ni dia dihantar kat Iran punya nuclear facilities untuk masuk kat dalam setiap komputer. Dan akhirnya Stuxnet ni, because it was a malware, it was targeted at Iran punya nuclear facilities, but eventually went viral. So kebanyakan macam countries dekat Arab kan, Iran, dekat sana semua tu semuanya infected. And then it went along for I think 5 years to actually people to understand Stuxnet ni. Dia exploit vulnerability in computers. So all of this macam ni is sometimes is not just for sebab macam you tanyalah apa kebaikannya, apa keuntungan individu untuk macam hack. So kita ada itu, nanti kita akan tengok juga apa kepentingan individu untuk hack masuk dalam sistem government. Buat apa kan? Kita nak dapat apa? Melainkan kalau kita ada intention. Contohnya saya hack masuk awak lah hack masuk UPNM punya sistem untuk tukar grade contohnya. So adalah kebaikan untuk you, contoh kan. Ataupun kita hack masuk dalam sistem menggunakan ransomware, lepas tu kita minta duit supaya kita boleh, itu macam financial punya oriented lah. So kita masuk ke sistem UPNM, kita encryptkan segala di hantar ransomware. Lepas tu dia encryptkan segala data kat dalam UPNM. So UPNM takkan boleh ambil data tu dan dipakai triple. Tak tahulah encryption method dia macam teruk sangat. Dia tak boleh nak buka. Dan semua ni memang sangat susah nak uncover lah sebenarnya. So kalau you tak boleh, selagi you tak bayar duit ni, tu macam bank account, offshore bank account, kalau you tak ni ataupun dalam duit Bitcoin, sekarang ni orang pakai macam tu, kalau tak bayar dalam Bitcoin punya dollar ni, dia tak lepaskan data tu. So that's money oriented. So ada juga yang itulah state hired. Maksudnya state hired attackers ni itulah dia berselindung di balik government tapi dia melakukan kerja-kerja government. Maksudnya kita nak try penetrate system if war to macam world war were actually macam tiba-tiba je terjadi. So what do we do? Macam tu. So dia orang lebih macam nak buat benda tu jadi defense. Kita boleh cripplekan orang ni punya, kita boleh ni sebab kalau dia terus cripplekan sekarang, orang akan terus buat investigation dan semua orang akan pergi serang dia pula kan. So that's always like strategi. So cyber punya attackers pun ada yang di hire untuk buat tu. So they orang call themselves as vigilante lah kan. Sebab dia buat for the better of the nation ke apa ke kan. So unless they are directly recruited by government or if they will receive a wing or not from a government agency. Maksudnya aku hire untuk buat ni. Okay, tapi dia tak secara official lah. Alright, so that's basically it. Kita nak cerita pasal what we want to talk about is just the evidence sekarang ni lah. Next week we'll try to look into how do we retrieve recovered deleted data. Jadi we'll start very a smaller punya ni, maybe on each computer you guys can actually see what I do on my computer. You guys can actually do it later on. I'll also tell you to download a few hopefully safe softwares that I've been using apa namanya, so that you can actually try it for yourself and how to actually computer save data dan sebagainya. So we'll look into that next week. So I'm hoping that it'll get more interesting next week as well. Any questions on today's topic?
No, ma'am.
No? Semua faham?
We are getting to
No,
understand.
man.
Okay, at least try to dip your toes into forensics and make yourself interested ataupun passionate in finding out about all this what's happening in the world. How is computer used? Not just yourself, not just macam jangan leka lah YouTube lah, your computer games lah, your Netflix lah, whatever view, whatever that you're doing. But try to go outside the box and be interested about what's happening in the world right now. What's happening in Malaysia right now in terms of IT. Kat mana kita sekarang? Boleh tak kita nak, if there were to be a cyber war kan, ataupun a physical war that includes cyber, are we equipped enough? And can I be one of the warriors to actually, help the nation and stuff like that? So at least you have to macam ada passion sikit lah. You tanamkan passion tu untuk belajar tentang IT. Then it will actually benefit you as well later on. Because you are in your second year already. So you have to think about what you're going to do when you graduate, which is not long to go. Okay? Hopefully that you're interested in forensics. If you are if you have not thought about what you're going to do for your final project, now is the time. Try to find something that is, because tak ramai orang yang buat forensics ni, so you can actually find projects on forensics. It's never too early to start your PSM. I even tell that to the first year students as well. It's never too early to start your PSM. Sebabnya PSM ni will require a lot of resources in terms of your knowledge, in terms of your time, in terms of your passion juga. Nak maintain the passion for 6 months, you mengadap benda tu, nak buat programming ni. So better you start early, you can, tanamkan passion tu dan sebagainya. Alright, so think about it. I hope that I can see more projects on digital forensics this year ataupun next year since I'm teaching one of your classes. Alright, so if there's nothing else, I know there's 2 orang tak ada kot. Yang lain ada rasanya. 3 orang. Is Nazatul already here?
Ma'am, saya di
You
sini.
online?
Ma'am.
Siapa tu saya?
Saya Muhammad Haris.
Haris ada. Okay, tak apa. Saya dah pangkal a few people je. Alright,
Pangkal.
so if there's Pangkal lah, Rashdan lambatnya masuk.
Ya,
Apa
ma'am.
masuk? Apa masuk lambat?
Saya
Apa?
masuk.
Saya masuk apa? Saya panggil tadi jawab soalan, tak ada.
Saya masuk
Okay.
10 ni, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, I know it's, some of you might think that this is the easy option kan. Hopefully it's not the easy option lah. Tapi hopefully it's the better option ataupun the more interesting option compared to data. But we'll try to instill passion for you guys. Alright, okay. So if there's nothing else, I'll see you guys next week on Tuesday. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let me
Thank you,
just
ma'am.
kejap. Let me just download my. Malas nak